What's up, hard-headed fans? Here we are, episode 12. Wow, back at it another week. We're gonna have a little shorter episode for you guys this week, and look at that. Spinny's got the merch in the background. We love it. I need to step on my game over here.
Somebody called us out, so I had to get in it, you know.
And speaking of who called us out, that kind of leads into our announcement we want to make. Spinny, I'll let you take that.
All right, so as many of you know, we were on the radio a couple weeks ago on Al in the Afternoon, and he called us out, right, on not having any merch. So I had to throw it up there for him, and because we got a regular radio gig on Al in the Afternoon. What? Every other week. Every other Wednesday, as we stand right now, every other Wednesday from 5 to 5:30, we'll be doing a segment on the radio. So our Mankato listeners, our local Minnesota listeners, how many ever you are, 1027 KTOE Mankato.
1027 FM, 1400 AM, KTOE website. There's tons of ways. Even if you're not in the Mankato area, you can still listen to it.
And iHeartRadio. That's how I got it up here in Minneapolis. You can just Google. Geez, what am I, 75? You could just search KTOE on iHeartRadio, and it'll come up. Click on it, listen to it that way. Pretty easy also. But yeah, every other week, starting this week, May 5th, right? Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or 4th, I can't remember, but it's Wednesday, whatever. Today's May 1st, right? So 2nd, 3rd, 4th, May 4th, 5 to 5:30, KTOE. Give us a listen, and then it'll be every other week. So 2 weeks from then, we'll be on again. So we just want to let you guys know it's pretty cool for us. We just getting this thing going, and got a nice little radio gig. So hopefully we can
nice little opportunity.
Yeah, we can bring each other's viewers and help each other out. Al in the Afternoon, listen up to it. A lot of different segments. There's other sports segments that he does after us that are pretty funny also. So just give him a listen and give us a listen. And we're so excited for that. I will be doing the first one from Washington, D.C. So don't rob me, by the way. Anyone listening that knows where I live, don't rob me when I'm gone. But I'll be in D.C., and we'll be going to a Twins-Orioles game at Camden Yards. So that'll be
gross. Orioles are nasty.
Yeah, but the Twins are lit, so that'll be cool. But sorry not to event drop everybody. Act like I'm some cool guy and just whatever. But what was I talking about other than Al in the Afternoon? Oh, yes, Al in the Afternoon. We'll be on there 5 to 5:30. Give us a listen. All right. Now that I have my cheesy radio
what
line
an
there.
announcement. Yes, that was perfect. Oh my gosh. All right, well, not really a topic for us today, but we do want to briefly talk about Trevor Bauer got suspended 2 full seasons. Wow, this was definitely the harshest punishment I've seen for suspension-wise in terms of how many games. 324 games. That's a lot of games to be suspended.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't just keep keeping him week to week or whatever stupid. Like, that was so stupid.
Right, that was dumb, yeah.
They just had to make a decision, and I'm with it for if everything that he did, which apparently from the MLB's investigation they think he did, then I'm on for that long of a suspension. The only thing I'm saying is Ozuna, when was that? Was that 2 seasons ago? Or was that last year?
Marcell Ozuna, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what year that was.
That was last year, yeah.
Yeah, he got suspended 20 games for similar or worse type
domestic
incidences.
violence.
Yeah, domestic violence. And so what's up with that, MLB? I don't get it. I'm not saying Bauer should be less. I think Ozuna should be more. I just, can we figure out what we're doing here? But
there needs to be some sort of balance, and because those are very different punishments, very different.
Agreed.
So yeah,
Agreed.
he's also, I saw, the first person to appeal suspension involving the domestic violence policy that MLB has. So I'm not sure how many people have been suspended in MLB for that, but no one's ever appealed their suspension before. But I mean, 324 games, I guess that makes sense to appeal. And
Well, he
and it,
keeps saying he's innocent. So I mean,
right,
I
he's
I
saying
don't I
he's
don't. It's
innocent.
hard to like. It's hard to like judge it, right now. I think given his
Yeah,
persistent
absolutely.
innocence, but not saying that means anything. But it's just like we got to get some type of court decision and ruling and stuff on this, or like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just I just wish there was more of a definite here, so we could really have a intellectually sound opinion. But right now, I'm with the MLB. Given that if he did everything he did, it's a definitely 2 years. It's like, yeah, it should be more even. So I'm with it. Given that, but hopefully we get more of an exact judgment in the future.
yeah, for sure. God, I forgot what I was about to say. I was about to make a good point. All right, that's
Sure
enough
you
on.
were. Sure you were. I was about to make a good point. Classic.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Trevor Bauer.
Oh,
So at this point though, with how much he is saying he's innocent, he's either like actually genuinely innocent, or he is like insane. He's crazy.
yeah, he's
Like
just just a
there's no in
narcissist.
between
Then
at
if
this point.
if
Yeah,
he's lying at this point, he's just a raging narcissist. So it's like,
right.
then
Insane. So
then we're just like, oof.
yeah, and if it actually somehow comes out that he did it, like he gets convicted and things like that, then yeah, I mean,
Then 2 years is not enough.
that's what I'm saying. Then
Yeah,
almost double that, type thing. So yeah, this is a story to follow for sure. I'm sure it won't be done in the appeal process. I'm sure it takes a couple weeks. So more to come with that story for sure. All right, now to our main topics here. NFL draft obviously was from Thursday to Saturday. Crazy draft, absolutely crazy draft. I threw down a number of different stats and records that I thought were interesting that happened this year. So Georgia, they set 2 NFL records this year, one being overall players drafted with 15 players drafted. That's a ton. And they also set the NFL record for most defensive players drafted in the first round, and they had 5 of them, which is that's insane to think. And I mean, they had the best defense statistically of all time, essentially, in the FBS. So that kind of makes sense to have that many players drafted and that many defensive players drafted. Spinny, you have any thoughts about those Georgia stats there?
yeah. I mean, I hope they're as good as their players were drafted, because the Vikes got one of those
Yeah,
guys. So I hope
as long as
I
Seam,
hope they're I hope yeah, as long as Seam's good,
yeah.
we're good. But yeah, I hope so for that sake.
All right, second time in NFL history, the first 5 players were defensive. So that was pretty interesting to see. 9 trades in the first round. Wow, that led to those poor scores you see on the bottom of the slide for Spinny and I and some other analysts, famous analysts, Mel Kiper, Tom McShay, and Daniel Jeremiah. Yeah, no one could anticipate that many trades happening. 9 trades, that's insane to think about. That was like the first time in 25 years or something like that there's been that many trades. So one
Yeah,
QB in the first 3 rounds too. I thought that was insane.
yeah. I mean, as with the mock draft thing, as many analysts have said, they don't do them because they don't like signing up to be wrong a bunch of times. So mock
Right.
drafts are pretty much never right, and so I'll take my L though as the lowest score of everyone. Nice, extra cool for me. But yeah, mock drafts are fun to do just because it gets you talking about the draft, which is super exciting. But nobody's ever right. Yeah, surprised the Steelers took Kenny Pickett. over Malik, if I got to be honest. But apparently not, because nobody else took anybody. So
Right. Malik dropped all the way to the third round. So
yeah, so I don't know. I wanted the Vikes to take him at 66, something terrible, but that didn't happen. Yeah, those wide receivers, all those guys could be good. There's got to be at least a bust or two in there, but just by pure
for
numbers.
sure.
But I think a lot of them will be good. Hopefully, the ones in the NFC North will be the bust, not the good ones. But yeah,
Right.
we hated that trade. Also, by the way,
We'll get into that.
we'll talk
because
about
I
it. We'll
haven't
talk
too
about
much.
it.
Yeah. The last crazy stat here was the first time in NFL history that there wasn't a running back or a tight end in the first round. So
That's crazy.
that is crazy. Think about basically the only skill positions drafted were receiver, and there was a ton of them. So
Just none.
yeah, for our listeners, I got 3 out of the 32 picks right, and Spinny got 2 out of 32. So we did decent. I was surprised that we even got picks right, to be honest. So I was just happy we got a couple picks right. Well, I thought for sure it was going to go Hutchinson first, then, Trayvon.
Yeah.
So I thought we got 2 locks for correct picks, but
it came late. It came late on right in draft morning that it was probably going to be Trayvon, but
yeah, that's true. It did come in draft morning. But what are you going to do when we release our mock draft a week before the draft?
Yep. Tough for us.
All right, our next little recap of the draft here. We're going to talk the worst team grades. We picked 4. We do have some matches here. Bears, Spinny. This was I'm glad they had a terrible draft, obviously, because I hate the Bears. They're probably my least favorite team in the NFL, honestly. I hate them even more than the Packers.
What?
But I do, seriously.
Why?
I don't know. I've just always hated the Bears the most. I don't know. They just get under my skin. And it especially makes me mad when we're clearly the better team, especially these most recent years, and we still somehow choke a game to them every year. And it just drives me insane. So I hate them. But they didn't pick a lineman until the 5th round, and their line is terrible. They're just not going to protect Justin Fields. I don't get what's going on there. I see you have them on your list too. So it's like,
same. What are you doing? You're letting Allen Robinson go. You're not picking linemen. Like, are we just trying to bust Justin Fields' career, or what are we doing?
Right.
So it's like,
and
sheesh.
piggybacking off the Allen Robinson thing, you would assume that means they're gonna, maybe try to move up and get another wide receiver or something. But no, their first wide receiver, Velus Jones Jr., pick 71, 3rd round pick. They waited till the 3rd round pick receiver. And this guy also, based on PFF, had absolutely terrible grades. So he was like one of the worst graded receivers in the class, according to like some experts and stuff. And that was their first receiver they picked. So just this is why they made my list. And also no 1st round pick. So when I was thinking about worst teams, lack of picks, and then just obviously terrible picks itself, or reaches too. I considered reaches as well. So that's kind of how I determined which teams had the worst grades here. But the Bears definitely stood out for sure.
And it's funny because this is going to be on Freezing Cold Takes, right? When one of these guys,
right?
Like, I'm thinking both are Patriots takes right now, right?
Right.
Like,
that was
if Cole Strange is an All-Pro, then we're both looking like absolute idiots. Which, knowing Belichick,
that's how it's happening.
Yeah, who knows? But people that grade and watch a lot and know the draft really didn't see that. So, Dallas too. I think they took Tyler Smith too high. I think they could have gotten him. They could have traded back. I'm surprised they didn't do that if that was the guy they really wanted. And then Sam Williams, their 2nd round pick, a lot of up talent and production ability, but he's obviously got some off the field issues coming with him too. So I just didn't exactly like that they didn't know their interior D line. They have no D tackles at all. It's going to be awful. I'm surprised they didn't try to move in there and address that with there's a lot of interior defensive linemen available even at later picks in this draft, so I'm surprised they didn't snag one of those guys. That's why I picked Dallas a little lower there.
Honestly, I don't agree with your Dallas. I do think they had a terrible draft, but I wouldn't give them a D. I'd give them maybe like a C minus. I don't think they're as quite as bad as these other teams on this list, but that's my opinion. But they definitely did not have a good draft. I am in agreement with you there.
How about the
Patriots,
Cards?
though,
Do you think that's a good take for me?
I like it. I saw, I was reading a bunch of different analysts' team grades of, they release all 32 team grades. So I was reading a bunch of different articles on that, and Cardinals were like consistently rated towards the bottom. And I'll let you talk about the Cards a little bit before we dive into the Patriots, since we both have them.
Well, okay, so Cards just drafting. I mean, Trey McBride's a great tight end, but why are we re-signing Zach Ertz to a long-term deal and then drafting a tight end in the second round?
They still have a second tight end too, I'm pretty sure.
So I was just like, Trey McBride is very much like Zach Ertz as far as a player, and you have Zach Ertz for 3 more years, so it's kind of interesting, I guess, how that works. And then giving up pick 23 straight up for Marquise Brown. I think that's I think that's a big overpay on the part of the Cardinals, and obviously the Ravens got Tyler Linderbaum, probably one of the best linemen in the draft.
I didn't like that move either.
No, I would have just taken somebody there, or I don't know. I know the Cardinals want to go more skill weapons downfield because Kyler is electric enough to avoid the rush a lot, but it still never hurts to get an interior offensive lineman there in Arizona too. So I don't know, or fix any of the other holes they got, DB or another rusher opposite Chandler Jones. They're in a big Arsenal stacking type division, so I'm just surprised that they gave that up for a receiver like Marquise Brown. But I hope it's good.
No,
I hope it works out.
I agree with you, honestly. I agree with you. I didn't really like that Marquise Brown trade too. And I am worried that they're going to overpay him now too, given that he's on his last year, up and coming. He's like 13.5 mil, I think, this. And I'm sure he's going to ask for 20 mil, which is not even remotely close worth that. So kind of worried that they're about to overpay him too.
One thing I will say, though, who knows what Marquise Brown's level of production can be with a quarterback that can throw it down the field like Murray can play Lamar. So we'll see.
Plus, they played in college together.
Yeah, if Brown balls out, who knows? But also,
all right, Patriots.
Our Minnesota guy, Rashad Bateman, who's getting more targets in Baltimore, so that'll be lit for him.
Yes, let's go. WR1, Rashad Bateman. Let's get it. Patriots, we kind of mentioned it. Obviously, the biggest piece here on the Patriots would be just a huge reach on Cole Strange, their first-round draft pick. He was projected mid to late third round, and they picked him 29th overall, first-round pick. So it's definitely a huge reach in basically everyone's eyes besides Belichick. And also, they had a huge reach on Tyquan Thornton, the receiver they picked. He was projected like 170th pick, and they picked him 52nd. So again, first 2 picks, really big reaches. And I also didn't like that their first cornerback, they waited till pick 85, late third round. And this dude is what's his name? Marcus Jones, 5'8", 177. I don't know if I'm not obviously rooting against him by any means, but those metrics do not seem to bode well. 5'8"?
Yeah, in the NFL. I mean, he can't. Yeah. There's no way he's playing on the outside. In the slot, could be quite good. But also, why are they spending a 4th round pick on the Kentucky quarterback?
Right. I didn't get that either.
So
And they
are we
also didn't
not?
draft a linebacker. They didn't address their linebacker need at all. Not one single
Yeah.
linebacker drafted.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean,
In Bill,
this is one of your squads, bro.
I don't
What
know
are they
if
doing?
we're in Bill we trust anymore. We'll see. Up until last year's draft was good though. They did have a good draft last year.
Right, they did. Yep.
So I don't know. We'll
And
see.
like you said, Bill always seems to turn these just random dudes into guys. So obviously
And
Bill
if
Strange, this could be on freezing cold takes, like you said, but
Mac Jones progresses like they want him to in New England, then Tyquan Thornton's what 4.29 or whatever fastest in the I can't remember 4.28 something like that. Might look lit if Mac Jones
yeah.
can get a deep ball going. So who knows? But that's the other thing with these team grades. Before we've ever seen any of them set foot on the field, it's like, wow, that's just
Right.
super easy to get right. So
This is just strictly based off the pick itself. That's why I said I was basing it off.
And the draft. We're just basing it off the
reaches
draft grade still.
Right.
Yeah. But these reaches could be really good if these players are good. So
yeah,
setting ourselves up to be wrong.
Time will tell. Right, exactly. Time will tell. The two teams I had on here that you didn't, Dolphins and Browns. I gave all these teams we're talking about, by the way, D pluses. I just figured they're all pretty equally bad, so I gave them the same grades. Dolphins. This was another one that was kind of just a poor rating for me due to lack of picks. They traded all their valuable picks away for Tyreek, which I think they gave way too much up for Tyreek. So having no first or second round pick because of that trade played into this ranking here. Their first pick was actually 102. So they didn't even get almost a top 100 player essentially. And all of their late round picks in the 6th and 7th round were just irrelevant depth adds that just didn't really make sense. And I mean, obviously some do, but the vast majority of 6th, 7th round picks don't even work out anyway. So that was basically their whole draft was just 6th and 7th round picks. So it was just pretty underwhelming, is why I just threw them in here because just you have like 3 or 4 picks total, and none of them are even good picks. Yeah, that just seems like a bad draft to me by the Dolphins. And yeah, I definitely don't think they should have gave up that much for Tyreek. 5 good picks they gave up for Tyreek. That's insane. And the Browns, another one, they gave up picks for Watson. So they gave up a lot of picks. They didn't have first round pick because of that. So they didn't pick until the 3rd round where they had 3 picks. But all 3 of these picks in the 3rd round were ranked as reaches. So I looked at their rankings, and most of them were ranked in that 100 to 150 range, and they were being picked at pick 60, pick 78, and things like that. So a lot of reaches for the Browns with their main guys they picked, and they picked a kicker in the 4th round. In the 4th round, they picked a kicker. So that's not good to me in my eyes.
If he's their kicker
he
for the next 5 years, it's worth it.
5+ years, I feel like.
Worth it.
Like
kicker's so important. Kicker's so important. How many games come down to deciding on if that guy?
I'm not saying it's not important, but you're literally relying on this guy to be your you could have got
you better not be wrong. You better not be wrong.
Right.
But if
you better
right,
not be wrong.
It's worth it.
But in my eyes, I don't like that at all. So I'm giving teams that do stupid stuff like that draft kickers in the 4th round, I'm giving them bad grades. That's not a good pick, Spinny. It's not a good pick. There's better guys available there. They did not need to pick a kicker. No one was going to pick a kicker then. They could have waited a whole nother round and still got that guy. So yeah, another huge reach for a kicker. Like, come on, Spinny.
He was the right pick in the 5th. He was the right pick in the 4th. Come on.
No, completely disagree. Terrible pick by the Browns. Browns, you suck. That's why you're a terrible franchise.
You're just a Browns hater, man.
No, I'm not even Browns hater. They just suck. They're just a terrible franchise.
Yeah, Browns hater.
They're a poverty franchise, just like the Lions.
Browns hater.
The Jaguars.
Jets.
So am I Jaguars hater? Am I a Lions hater too?
Jets. Are they in that?
They're probably a poverty franchise, but look at this. We both have them in our best team grades. A pluses. Spinny, what'd you like about the Jets draft? I mean, everyone loved it.
Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Brees Hill, Jeremy Rucker.
End of story.
End of story. I mean,
literally.
Jermaine Johnson, biggest faller. I thought was going to be a top 15 pick for sure. And they got him in late first round. Garrett Wilson, I think, is the best receiver. I think Sauce is the best corner, too. I'm surprised Houston went Stingley, even though I still have Houston on this list, too. But I'm surprised they valued Stingley over Sauce. I think Stingley may have more top-end potential, but obviously has more bust potential, too. And Sauce didn't give up a touchdown in 3 years, so that's pretty crazy. Even though he was playing at, bummy Cincinnati. That's still impressive.
Still, that is crazy, though.
Yeah. So all their guys are good. All their guys are where they want him. Brees Hill is probably the best running back, I think.
Brees Hall.
So, Brees Hall, sorry. I think he's the best running back. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those three guys you said, on most mock drafts were projected top 10. So, Sauce, Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson getting all essentially 3 top 10 players in the draft. Yeah, that's an amazing draft. You got Brees Hall, unanimous. I didn't see any other mock draft really that didn't have him number 1 running back. So they got the best running back too, and they got the best blocking tight end in Rucker. So yeah, great draft by the Jets. Shout out to the Jets. They actually did something right. Usually they choke, just like the Giants. But even the Giants had a solid draft too.
Giants were honorable mention on my list. Honestly,
yeah, I agree.
They just messed up a couple times, second, third, I think. So, but obviously they're getting Thibodeau and Neal is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, another team we both have on here very high on the Ravens, both A plus there. Again, they just got 3 studs, kind of like the Jets. So they picked Kyle Hamilton first, who basically everyone had as the top safety, and who I believe was perfect value. Like, to get him where they got him, I think that was a steal, absolute steal. I'm still really high on Kyle Hamilton. I don't really care. I understand he's got a slow 40 time, and that's why he dropped, but I'm still really high on him. I have faith in him. And to learn from, like, Marlon Humphrey, like, you're coming in and learning from Marlon Humphrey, that's going to be huge for them. Tyler Linderbaum, best center. A lot of people are really high on him, just stud center, handing the ball off to Lamar for years to come. Great pick there. And gave it a job.
One thing I want to defend Tyler Linderbaum for 1 second before we move on too much. Everyone talks about he does have really short arms, yeah. But you watch this man play. You watch how aggressive he is with getting engaged with the defensive tackle. His short arms are not the way he plays makes it not matter, essentially. Maybe in the NFL it could be a thing with those big D tackles being able to push him, but the way he gets up and underneath so well, and his foot speed and footwork are so good that he negates a lot of his physical deficits. So I still think he's gonna be amazing in the NFL. Obviously, he does have a little more bust potential given those physical qualities.
Yeah, his.
Sorry, keep going. I interrupted, but keep going.
A lot of his. Yeah, but just going off what you said about Linderbaum, a lot of his foot speed and quickness there, getting underneath people, comes from his wrestling background. I saw that they were talking about that on draft night, that he was a stud wrestler too. So that definitely helped him. And
he wrestled Tristan Wirfs.
Did he really?
In high school. Yes, they were both
Iowa
high school wrestlers. They went to rival schools. And they wrestled each other. Iowa high school wrestling. Tristan Wirfs. And he said Wirfs was obviously way bigger than him, but they were both heavyweight. And Wirfs kicked his butt most of the time, he said. And then, but in one time in the section championship, he beat Wirfs to go to state. So he was like, super.
That's crazy. Wirfs is super humongous.
Yeah, literally.
All right, back on the Ravens. David Ajabo, though, they got him. He fell due to injury. First round talent for sure. If it wasn't due to injury, he would have been picked in the first round. So hopefully he comes back and from that injury well, which I think he's going to. So that's a great pick by them. Absolutely amazing pick. And also liked he fell a little bit because of his combine, Daniel Falele, Minnesota Gophers guy. But that's an amazing pick too. I really like that.
Both those guys are gonna start.
Yeah, 2 linemen are starting on day 1. I like that. And Jalen Armour Davis from Alabama, that's a nice quality cornerback depth add there that they can bring in and learn from Marcus Peters, and so hopefully he can maybe turn into something decent for them. And they also got much needed tight end depth. They essentially have no one behind Mark Andrews. Obviously, he's going to handle the vast majority of the snaps, but they basically have no one on their roster besides him. I think he was literally the only tight end. So they drafted like 2 or 3 tight ends too, and got that much needed depth that needed at that position. So Ravens definitely had one of the best drafts, and in my eyes, tied with the Jets for the best draft out of any of the teams. So, and I see based on your rankings, you got them. You are also in agreement with me there. So, yeah, success there. Eagles, we both have them there. You gave them a little lower grade, A minus. No A's for you? You didn't think one team deserved an A?
Nope, no A's for me. 2 A pluses and then A minuses.
Why not? Why no A's?
I just didn't feel it was deserved by any team. Just got a little picky on you this year. Happens.
Okay, so what do you got on the Eagles then?
Eagles, Jordan Davis, obviously a good pick. I liked where they got him.
Absolutely.
The trade for AJ Brown. Did they get a third also from Tennessee? So they sent a first for AJ Brown, a third.
I think so.
Either way, or straight up, I still think that's a pretty good trade given the Eagles' track record drafting receivers doo-doo. So,
yes.
So I think that for them, it was smarter to give up a first-round pick. They also signed A.J. Brown, $25 million a year. So, yeah, I think that was good. They obviously overpaid for what I would like to pay A.J. Brown, but when you can't draft receivers, sometimes when you got a young quarterback, you got to just overpay, get somebody. So I respect that in their situation. Cam Jurgens, I think he was a good pick.
Yep, that was a good pick.
What school did he go to? Gosh, I didn't write it down.
I didn't write it down either. He's a center though.
Yeah. I thought he was the second best center. And then they got Nakobe Dean at pick 83. Which I know he
third round.
He has some injury situations going on with shoulder surgery. He didn't get it. People wanted him to. So I don't know what's going on with that. But for his talent level, even if he's he's just worth a shot there at 83. This man could be a top 10 linebacker in the leagues.
Right.
I think talent wise. So if he pans out, then dang, they're looking good. Jordan Davis, pair him with Fletcher Cox for the end of Fletcher Cox's career here, get him learning from him. That's going to be deadly. So I like Philly's draft as much as I wanted them to have an awful draft. They did not. So that's off to Howie.
They put the work in. Yeah, Nakobe Dean, that was big ad. I mean, he was the best defensive player on the best defensive team in Georgia. So, again, obviously those injuries are concerned, but if he stays healthy, he's going to be a stud. I'm pretty high on him as well. So, great draft by the Eagles. I was pretty shocked at the AJ Brown move. I didn't know that the Titans were going to get rid of him. It makes sense though because they're obviously not trying to pay him that much money, which I agree with you. That's too much money for AJ Brown. But obviously, given, like you said, Eagles' terrible track record of receivers, Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. That being the worst one. They obviously needed a playmaker, though. They essentially only have Devontae Smith. So AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, that's a nice little 1-2. They got plenty, 3 different options at running back. 4, basically. You count Jalen Hurts. So Great draft by the Eagles. Spinny, I'm gonna let you wrap up your board. What do you got about Houston? I wasn't as high as them. I would give them about a B or B plus. What do you got on them? They slid into yours.
Stingley, I think has huge star potential. They just need players.
Agree, he does.
Kenyon Green at the pick they got him. I think he's a good lineman. Some people had him a little lower than that, but I guess I was higher on him, so I don't think that was too terrible of a reach. John Mechie, right? Mechie from Alabama. He obviously has the injury situation going on.
That was a steal for them.
But that was a steal there. They also got Harris, the other linebacker from Alabama, who I think is talented.
Oh yeah.
Also, and has upside. And then they got I forgot Jordan Petrie. I think is the third best safety from Baylor. They got him in the beginning of the second round, and then Dameon Pierce, the Florida running back, who is probably going to be their week 1 starting running back. They got him with the second pick of the 4th round. So I just think they got 6 talented guys. They could have. I mean, Mechie obviously is going to be hurt this year or for part of the year. They probably had 5 starters they just drafted. So
yeah, that's impressive.
That's a good draft there if you can get that many guys. They obviously had a lot of picks, but I think where they took people was fairly good. I'm a little surprised it was Stingley over Sauce, but I don't hate that either.
Yeah, I was surprised with that. Little concerned about Stingley's injury history, but again, like you said, he's got the obvious upside. So still a solid pick there, and I wouldn't even really call it a reach or anything. So yeah, I Houston had a solid draft for sure, no doubt there. The Chiefs, though, I'm surprised you didn't have them on here ahead of them. I like the Chiefs draft a lot. They got Trent McDuffie and George Karlaftis, 2 solid defensive players, cornerback and edge rusher. For those that don't know, that obviously they need defense. So great. They address their team needs and they got 2 studs. So that's just a great combo there. And Sky Moore, who's essentially going to be their Tyreek replacement. I think that's a great pick for them. I think he's going to fit in really well in their offense. And play style wise, he's obviously not as fast as Tyreek. Well, play style is basically the exact same. So he's going to slot into Tyreek's spot very well there. And guess this is a crazy stat I saw on Sky Moore. Out of all the receivers last year, who had the highest grade? Sky Moore. That's crazy to think about. Out of all the college football.
Highest what grade?
PFF, highest graded in all of college football. So he had a higher grade than Jameson Williams, all these different guys. So I thought that was interesting. Leo Chenal, another steal they got. He was projected early 2nd, and they got him in the late 3rd, pick 103. He's a linebacker, so obviously another good position need that they had, and they filled. So that was good to see. And this guy, he is amazing against the run. So his Micah Parsons college rating against the run was 94.8, and this guy's Leo Chenal's was 94.1. So he's a little behind Micah Parsons. As we saw, Micah Parsons is elite in the league immediately. I'm not saying this guy's going to be Micah Parsons. Definitely not saying that. There's a reason he slid to 2nd, 3rd round, but that's still a great ad and fills a direct need. And they filled needs everywhere. They got a quality replacement for Tyreek. So I just had to throw them in here and give them an A for a grade. I think they're deserving of an A.
I like it.
All right, that was our team best and worst team grades. Now, just to last little recap here, Vikings, as we know, a lot of trades. 3 trades in the first 2 days, 3 trades on day 3 as well. There's the trade details for those that didn't know. I was a little upset that we traded with the Lions and Packers, just given that they're division rivals, and I just don't like. I don't like doing that. I don't like giving. Well, at least the Lions, they're not good, so hopefully Jameson doesn't turn out. But that's the thing. Both of the teams picked receivers, which if someone's going to burn us, one of these rookies, it's going to be a receiver because our secondary is just not good. So that did worry me. Kind of worried about Christian Watson and and Jameson Williams going forward there. But so I didn't like the trades, but our selections were good. You agree? You were good with our selections?
Yeah, I'm good with our selections. I think it was a little curious to me that we took Lewis Cine at 32 when we could have just taken Hamilton at 12. That was a little interesting to me. I wish we would have got more in the trade back. We gave up a first and a third for 2 seconds and a third. To me,
Right.
that's not really enough.
That's not enough. I agree.
Or a first and a second. I'm sorry, a first and a second for 2 seconds and a third. So we basically just moved back 20 picks to get a third round pick, which that to me is not worth it. I would have wanted something from next year at least. So yeah, I like the guys we drafted. I liked all of them. I wish we would have maybe slid in a quarterback there at 66, but those first 3 picks I do like.
I think Asamoah should be able to slide in well at our Bauer replacement, and I think he's going to complement Kendricks well. So I do kind of like that pick too. But I'm in agreement. I wish we would have snagged Malik Willis or something there, like a potential future quarterback. Because obviously Kirk's the answer for this year, maybe next year as well. A guy like Malik, given that he needs to sit anyways, that would have been a perfect opportunity, I thought. But he ended up going essentially to the same situation in Tennessee. You know, they got Tannehill for this year, next year, and then he'll come in after that. So he still landed in a great spot. Andrew Booth, I was glad that he slid to us. Another guy that just kind of slid due to injuries, but he's a stud. He's first round talent for sure. So we got great secondary help, and hopefully these guys, Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth, learn from our great vets that we got in Harrison Smith and Patrick Pearson. So I'm hoping these guys can turn out based off that great veteran leadership that we have. And Ed Ingram, for those that don't know, is a little sketchy pick based on his past. If you don't know, Spinny, do you know about what happened to him?
I do, but I'll let you explain it because you know it better.
He essentially, when he was 16, he sexually assaulted 2 14-year-old girls for like a year or something. And they charged him. They came out a couple years later when he was in college and charged him. And so that's why he was suspended and hasn't played for a while. But the charges were just dropped a couple weeks ago, which is why he was able to be in the draft. From everything I've seen, he's like a quality lineman. But obviously that's just off the field stuff's kind of a worry there for me. But hopefully that's not true because that's just another NFL winner then.
It's tough looks, Vikes. Tough looks.
Yeah. So, and I did like our day 3 picks as well. Just some quality skill position depth adds, and Ty Chandler. He'll probably be 3rd, 4th string running back. Just a nice little depth add. Jalen Naylor, wide receiver, and Nick Muse, tight end. So I like those day 3 depth adds that we had as well. I'm not going to dive into all the other depth adds, given that some of them won't even make our active roster. So, but yeah, that's a little of the Vikings recap. I thought we had a solid draft. I would have gave the Vikings a B. What about you?
Yeah, B-, I think.
B minus. Yeah, I'm accepting of that.
Maybe, yeah. I'm
like
going B-. Hard B- because of the trade back. Trade back and no return.
Right. So yeah,
but maybe that's the best they could. Maybe that's the best they could get. Who knows?
Right. We're not in the office making these trades, so we don't truly know at the end of the day what's going on. But little upset with the trades, but the picks themselves were quality, which gives the Vikings about a B- B ranking. So overall, pretty solid, and hopefully these guys turn out for us. Looking forward to that. Spinny, you know what time it is now?
Oh, what time is it, Russ? What time is it?
Are you just already depressed because you know you're gonna lose trivia or what?
Yeah, we're not even. I don't even have a witty comeback this week. We're just kind of dragging into trivia. So
instantly sighs. I love it. That's hilarious. Who do you want to go first? I'll let you pick. Do you want to ask or do you want me to ask?
I'll ask.
Okay.
In 2004, there was a Pistons-Pacers game that happened. This game ended up with something crazy going on and created a documentary on ESPN.
Mal said pass.
Jeez. Okay.
Final answer.
Yep.
I mean, I knew it right when you said the team, but I just let you
just let
a little
me
more.
drag on just to be cruel. Nice. Sick.
Yeah.
Extra cool when you are, boss.
I might watch that documentary again tonight just because it's so awesome. I love watching that replay. It's insane. Nothing like that would ever happen again in the NBA.
Smoking them. We loved it.
Yeah. Your easy question. So, in the NBA playoffs, this year, who had this stat line from the first series? 12 points per game, 7 assists per game, 3 rebounds on 33% shooting, 46% true shooting.
D'Angelo Russell, final answer.
Yes, correct. Wow, absolutely pathetic. Playoffs by D'Lo. 12 and 7. Obviously, 7. That's pretty quality assist numbers there. But 12 points on 33% shooting, Spinny. Oh, gross.
I'm okay with him scoring 12 if he's shooting like 55%.
Right.
But man, this
33
bucks.
Yeah. All right, your medium question. Ask me. I'm dubbing you this week for sure. I'm feeling
medium
good.
Question. There, you also have a bonus
you even
point
put them on little cards?
Yep.
Wow. You might get a bonus point for that, actually.
You have a bonus point.
Okay.
This question. All right. Before I do that, I'm gonna cap myself because I didn't actually put them on cards, and I don't want to be that guy. So we have sports trivia.
Are you serious?
That I got for last Christmas, so I had to use it.
Wow.
So that's so maybe I'll get a negative point instead, honestly, for that. But,
that is that's a negative point now, bro. What?
Mm-hmm.
Fake.
Okay. You have to get the team correct, and if you get the number of games correct, then you get an extra point.
Okay.
What team has the record for the longest losing streak in NBA history? If you get the team, you get the points. If you get the number of games,
regular season, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Longest losing streak. Did this happen in our lifetime?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's terrible teams. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the Bobcats and 18 losses in a row.
Final.
I don't know if it's reached. Final.
L's, 2 L's. It is the Cavs. It is the Cavaliers, and it is.
Did it get over 20?
26. The 2011. What do we got? What year we got? Sorry.
Oh, the
2010,
the
2011. 2010, 2011 Cavs.
Yeah. Their first year after LeBron. 26?
Yep. 26.
That is. Wow, that's embarrassing. 26 games in a row. 26. Holy moly.
And I also do verify these questions are still up to date, by the way. So it is still the record. I don't just go off the questions. Come on.
All right, your medium question. So, this is the second time in the last 20 years that only one QB was taken in the first round. The other time that happened in the last 20 years was in 2013.
You're going to ask me who the quarterback is? You're going to ask me who the quarterback is?
Who was the one quarterback?
EJ Manuel, final answer.
Correct.
Let's go.
I did debate on even putting that as my easy question because I knew you were going to get that one.
Let's go.
No. Spinny takes the lead. No. What team?
What question was it again? I don't even
What
remember
team
the
was he
question.
drafted to? EJ Manuel.
Oh, the Bills.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that is a pathetic draft. EJ Manuel's your only quarterback pick. Oh my gosh,
They were desperate.
That does not bode well for Kenny Pickett then,
No, it doesn't.
based on that. But oh man, I guess I'll take your hard question now and maybe even take an L this week. Sadly.
How many games long was Joe DiMaggio's record hit streak?
Oh my gosh, I used to actually know this. 62, final answer.
Second guess? I'll give you a second guess.
60, final answer.
No, 56.
Oh, I swear that he hit 60. 56, yeah. That sounds right. Yeah, that's impressive. Wow, 56 games. Yeah, dub for you.
Wow, maybe I just have to
That's
come in
shocking.
somber every week. I
Yeah.
gotta come in just on the DL.
You just have to have come in low confidence.
Yeah, I just gotta
depression mode.
stop talking shit, and then maybe we'll get
Yeah.
All right, give me your hard question so I can really dub you. This will be like 2 wins if I get this.
I might shed some tears if you actually get this one. Jose Ramirez, your guy on your fantasy team. Wow, unreal start to the year. 28 RBIs in April. The MLB record is for most RBIs in the month of April is 32. 3 guys are tied, and I'm going to make you name all 3 because they're all 3 very well-known players. 2 of them late 90s, and 1 of them our lifetime.
2 of them late 90s.
Late 90s, and 1 of them our lifetime.
We're going to
42, 32 RBIs, man.
We're going to go Ken Griffey and Sammy Sosa and Mike Trout. Final answer.
Okay. You were close on that Sammy Sosa.
Was it Mark McGwire?
Mark McGwire, and who would another roid baby
Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire. Wrong on Trout, even though he did play with Trout a couple years ago, but is a long time Cardinal. Yes, Albert Pujols is the other one. 32 RBIs in April. Wow.
Pujols, Bonds,
and McGwire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
If you would have thought about it a little longer, I would even have given you a roid baby hint, so you have even select few to pick from. All right, that confirms it. Fat dub for you. Well, not fat, but
not a fat one, but
I
got one. Got the dub. So we're just gonna come in a little confident from now on, and maybe that's the move for me. So
yeah, maybe that's the recipe for success. All right, next little topic here: Timberwolves season recap. Obviously, we lost 4-2 to the Grizzlies. Depressing, but I just wanted to give a little recap here and just shout out our Wolves. They had a great season, and I don't care what anyone says on Twitter. I don't care what any of the people say on ESPN or the TNT crew, because they're always hating on us. I don't care what any of them say. We competed against a 2 seed, by the way, second overall in the NBA. They had the second best record in the NBA this year. We competed with them. We should have won, honestly. So I'm upset that we choked the series. Like, don't get me wrong, but to compete with that good of a team in your second time in the playoffs since 2004, that's a successful season for the Wolves. Like, come on. We went from 23 wins to 46. We have nothing to be upset about with our Wolves, I don't think. Obviously, except for the little choking. You can be mad about choking as long as you give them this respect that I'm also giving them. Do you agree with me with what I'm saying here about the Wolves? Or what are your thoughts on the way our season ended and our season as a whole?
Yeah, it was a good uptick from where we were last year. I agree. That was good. Whatever. But I am upset about I will be upset about this year more if it doesn't change. Okay, so
Fair.
if next
That's
year
fair.
isn't another tick up, then I'm upset because next year's the prove it year. Can Chris Finch coach a consistent good series? Can Cat stop being a whatever you want to call it and ridiculously not self-aware and foul happy and complain happy and just go get her done? And does Ant take that next step, another step yet? Does he have another step in him? And if those things do happen, then this is just a stepping stone. It's great. But if those don't, then this is the root to a bigger problem. Blah 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 blah. We have to at least trade D'Lo and blow it up. So I guess I'm optimistic, but also a little worried. And I hope they can at least re-sign Torian Prince.
That's fair. I guess that's fair. Either way, though, Cat did take a step forward of the series. An all-star, likely will make the All-NBA team. He played with a different attitude out there, and so that was good to see. Obviously, like you said, he needs to improve on that game awareness. That's the main thing. He needs to take a big step forward in next year. And if he doesn't, then I'm in complete agreement with you. Then this is just going to lead to a bigger problem for sure. So, but I'm very optimistic, and I have faith in these guys. I think hopefully I'm banking on Ant becoming the man. That's what I'm banking on here with the Wolves. I don't think Cat can be a 1. He can maybe be a 1B on a championship team or a close second, but we need Ant to be our 1, and if Ant can take, obviously he's only going to be 21 next year, but he can take another step forward, third year in the league, which I'm sure he will. That's only going to help us. And honestly, I also agree with you. Torian Prince would be the only free agent there that I would bring back. He made 15 mil, I think, this year. So hopefully we could sign him for a little less than that, maybe around that 10 to 12 mil range.
10 to 12 we lit.
And I would take Torian absolutely. He was amazing in the minutes he got in the playoff series, and definitely throughout the season as well. Just a nice 3-and-D vet guy. So Torian Prince, those other 3 guys just bums. So I don't really care about Kogi, Layman, or Monroe. Those guys can walk. Obviously, we got to pick up those team options of Ant McDaniels and Jalen Noel. Those are no-brainer team options there.
Why did Noel not get playing time in the Memphis series?
That was weird too. I did wonder that too. Obviously, when come playoffs here, your rotation shrink, right? So he just kind of got the odd man out. I feel like, and yeah. I mean, they were just going to play our guy J-Mac instead. He just doesn't make mistakes.
True.
And I had no issue with J-Mac. I mean, D'Lo got freaking benched in an elimination game with 4 minutes left.
Was better. I can't believe they put D'Lo back in. Period.
He comes back in and turned it over twice in a row.
Yeah. It's like,
so
he's got to be better.
Bringing into that D'Lo thing. He's a free agent after next season. Do we extend him, Spinny? I say no.
Unless it's like a.
Right now he's getting paid like 30 mil, I think.
Unless it's like a Jalen Brunson type extension, or like a Marcus Smart type extension, or I'd even pay him. I mean, I'd even do Jalen Brown's extension, 4 years, 120. But I'm not giving him a max deal. That's the most I'm giving him. 4 years, 120. Not giving him more than that. And I'd more like to give him
still 30 mil a year though.
I'd like to more give him like 4 years, 90 mil if I could. But
yeah, closer to that 20 mil range.
Yeah. 25. 25 is
a
good medium range for D'Lo, but I don't think he's taking that. So
yeah, I don't think so either. And I don't know. It's just we could trade him, but what are you going to get back from too?
Depends on
a couple randoms.
Depends on depends on where Cat's at after next season. We'll let it play out a lot because the biggest reason you keep D'Lo, I think, is to keep Cat happy. And if you're not happy with Cat, then maybe it doesn't matter.
Right.
at some
I put
point.
Cat on
So
there, free agent 2024. His extension obviously is coming up here as well. So we could even offer him one as soon as this year, even if we're committed to him going forward. Which I don't necessarily think that's the right move there. Hopefully, we may wait longer to extend him, just because we have to see what happens next year too. Based off everything we said, we got to see if this was a stepping stone or more of a fluke and kind of a choke, and kind of really showed us that Cat actually won't ever be anything to help us win. So we'll see what
and
happens next year.
Cat wants to wait too, because if he gets another All NBA team, then he's eligible for the
Oh, true.
super max.
True.
So
That's very true. That's only 3 All NBA teams, or what is the criteria actually?
Well, Cat hasn't made an All NBA team yet at all, has he?
Oh, I thought he made one. Yeah, maybe he didn't then. Because Rudy always sniped him.
Yeah, so I don't. If it's his first one, then obviously that brings you up to the super max ability, and then I think it's 3 or 4 for the super, but I'm not 100. I could be wrong on those workings there. So, yeah, good overall season. Could be better. We're kind of at a 50-50 tipping point. I just hope we go up and not down. So, and Ant's progression is obviously going to be the biggest part of that. All right, so
really agree. Hopefully McDaniels too can take another next step forward.
Agreed. Bev taking him out to train with Kawhi. We like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be really that. Hopefully he'll learn a lot from Kawhi there. Eastern Conference playoffs now.
Yep.
We got top 4 seeds in both conferences. Actually moved on. Heat plays Sixers. Celtics play the Bucks. We recording Sunday night here, so we've already seen the Bucks go up 1-0 on the Celtics. They won by 11, 12 points, something like that. And so we also seen the Warriors win by 1 point, escape over the Grizzlies in game 1, take a 1-0 lead there as well. Let's just talk before we talk the series that's already started. Let's just dive into the Heat Sixers quick. This will be an interesting series. Embiid fractured his orbital bone, one of his face bones, and also suffered a mild concussion. Up 29 late against the Raptors in their series clinching win. Why is he on the floor? Tell me, Spinny. Why is Doc have him on the floor? Why is your best player on the floor up 29 in the fourth quarter?
I'm out on Doc. I was a Doc lover, and I'm out on him. That's just another bad call. It's tough.
Yeah, that's tough for sure.
Not something
can Harden be the guy? Can Harden be the guy if Embiid's sitting out these games? I don't think so.
And Embiid is hoping to be back for game 3, right? So all I'm hoping is either Maxey and Harden can put together one game, one of those two in Miami where they both can go off. That's the hope. But if that doesn't happen, then I don't know if Joel coming back even matters. It does matter for the length of the series, but once it's 2-0, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, originally I had Heat in 7, and I switched it to Heat in 6 just because of this injury. I agree with you that that definitely could happen where, they still got Tobias Harris, Maxey, and Harden, so those 3 carry them to a win. But I switched it to Heat in 6 because I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, I was Heat in 7 in the pre-playoff, and we're just sticking with it.
It is going to be a fun series to watch, though. Looking forward to it. Starts tomorrow, I believe. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, I do want Embiid to come back. I'm not really a Embiid fan. I don't like the Sixers whatsoever. But I'm not trying to see one of the best players, potential MVP this season, missing games. I hate when this happens in the playoffs. Yeah. I want all the best players playing, so I truly know who's the best guy, who's the best player, who's the best team. I want to know that. Yep. So hopefully Embiid comes back healthy by game 3 to make it a series. Celtics, Bucks. As we said, Bucks up 1-0 already. Spinny, what did you think about that game?
Man, this game looked like it took place in the 80s, man. It was physical.
For real.
Oh, holy cow, they were going after it. I like it, though. I'm still in on Boston in 7. They were my pick. I'm sticking with it. They're not going to shoot 33% from the field again. So, that's tough. They shot better from 3 than they did from the field. So that is they're not going to have 18 turnovers again. That's ridiculous. Jaylen Brown, 38 minutes, 4 for 13 with 7 turnovers. So that's not happening again. Marcus Smart,
Tatum
3 for 11.
18.
Tatum 6 for 18, and he only had 3 turnovers, so not terrible. Horford 4 for 11. Peyton Pritchard with like 5 minutes left is bombing threes, like 4 of them, missed all 4,
Right.
0 for 4. He goes 2 for 8 from the field. So I just don't see them shooting that badly again. And holy cow, Drew Holiday made big shot after big shot after big shot after big, like so many big shots. I was like, what are we doing? What is going on here? So that was good. Robert Williams has to get back to that double bounce guy that he was. He's overcommitting on his full jump too much, and then and then he's getting himself in the air in bad spots. If he can just do that low key first jump, and then he's quick enough, if he does that, he can have that second jump, even if it's a pump fake, it'd be there the whole time, no matter what. He's got that length and athleticism. I just hope he can be like confident enough in his physical ability, like his injury. I hope he's confident enough to be over that, to get back to doing those double jump stuff. Because if he can do that, then that changes the whole thing. I mean, Giannis still, he shot 9 for 25, so they did.
Yeah, he didn't do that
against
well.
him.
He had a triple double, I guess, but
yeah, he did. But other guys obviously were doing really well. Grayson Allen was banging some threes, 25 from Holiday, 15 from Bobby Portis. So their role players were making shots. But the main thing was just Boston wasn't making shots. They had open shots.
No, yeah.
It's just they just weren't like Brown. So he had like 4 threes in a row, wide open, just brick.
Like,
holy cow! So I just don't see them shooting that bad again. The Bucks obviously can win, and Giannis is the best player in the world. That is obvious now. But Horford does a really good job guarding him. Al Horford's defense today was impressive overall. So I just think that if the shots are going to go down in at least half the games in the series, and if the Celtics shots go down against the Bucks without Middleton, they're going to win. So they just have to make the shots.
Yeah,
I know that's the classic go-to, but that's just what it was today, and not do stupid stuff. Points off turnovers.
Literally how it was today.
The Bucks. How many points? I wish I don't have that in front of me right now, but the Bucks' points off turnovers was ridiculous.
Sure, it was probably close to 20.
We're gonna give it 27 points off turnovers to Boston 6.
Insane.
A plus 21 points off turnovers for the Bucks. Yeah,
that's not a recipe for success.
Missed shots
not
and 18 turnovers leading to 27 points.
Plus, long missed shots too. Long shots, long rebounds, which usually a missed 3 leads to transition opportunity.
And you got to keep the Bucks out of transition. They're too long, they're too big, and they have shooters.
They're too good in transition.
Giannis
way too good.
Too dangerous in transition. Too good.
Yes.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
You just have to keep him out of it as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. For the Bucks, I agree with you. All your thoughts on the Celtics. That I don't picture the Celtics shooting this bad again. This is odd. This is going 7. I can't picture not going 7. If it doesn't,
it's going to be a fun series.
It'll be 6 games with all 6 games super close. This is maybe my favorite series remaining here. Across the 4 series we have, this is awesome. The switching defense will cause some problems for the Bucks, as we saw tonight for stretches, especially with Giannis's poor shooting. I think a lot of that goes to the switching and all the different matchups they can throw at Giannis. But it's going to come down to the Bucks role players, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Weston Matthews. These guys that are shooters, it's going to come down to them being able to shoot, because they're going to get open looks against this switching offense. Tonight they were hitting, and they were able to win. but that's going to be huge coming into these next games going forward, especially with Middleton out for this series. So they really need those other guys to step up, especially Grayson Allen, because I feel like he's probably the best shooter they have. I feel like so.
Also,
They need those guys to step up.
Also, how did Marcus Smart not get a flagrant for literally kneeing Grayson Allen directly in the face?
Yeah,
like I know it was like not on purpose, but like it definitely was excessive contact. So I was just
right, and that's the definition of
surprised
flagrant
that
one. So
yeah, but glad he wasn't. All right, should we move to the West?
Yeah, to the West. Again, top 4 seeds, Suns versus Mavs, Grizzlies versus Warriors. Warriors up 1-0 already. We'll just start with the Suns Mavs quick. This is gonna be a great series. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, you stuck with Suns in 7, huh?
Yeah, so I had Suns in 5.
I thought you were debating Mavs.
I had Suns in 5 because I had the Jazz winning because I thought Luka was hurt. Dallas wins. So I'm going to move it back to 7. I wanted to pick Dallas, but I just can't quite get myself to do it based on the talent difference. But man, I think Dallas could win this series. I think Luka's good enough to be that guy to win this series. I'm going to take the Suns, but I'm a little sketched on it given what the Pelicans were able to do, and the Mavs have 3-point shot makers around. Jalen Brunson is good at creating his own shot. Spencer Dinwiddie can create his own shot, and everyone else is banging trays. So they've got those 3 guys. Luka is just obviously special. Brunson averaged 25 in that last series. So we got some ability from the Mavs. I'm gonna go Suns, but this was a really close series. My most 50-50. This and the Bucks Celtics, I think, are both true 50-50 series.
Yeah, the Mavs are going to definitely go as far as Luka carries them. No doubt about that there. And if Brunson keeps stepping up, like you said, 25 points a game, that's crazy for Jalen Brunson. So if he can keep that production up, and then as we know, he's a clutch player. He's played in the spotlight before, being at Nova and winning those rings. So he's used to the spotlight and used to playing under a ton of pressure, and that definitely showed in the first round, being able to step up with Luka out. That was huge by Brunson. And so yeah, it could be a series. I'm still gonna go Suns in 6. I think my original pick was Suns in 5, so I'm gonna back it up a game. But yeah, this is gonna go as far as Luka will take. I'm gonna keep giving the Suns the edge there. Point guard, wow, CP3 is just unreal right now. So I think the Suns will still be able to pull this out. Perfect game in the closeout against the Pelicans.
Yeah,
insane.
That was nuts.
Insane. So I'm gonna stick with the Suns there. Grizzlies, Warriors, obviously. Oh, and by the way, all of our picks were made. We're recording after those 2 games started. We made these picks before the game started. So don't worry about that there. We both have the Warriors in 5. I don't know. Obviously, they played well tonight, but I just don't know about the Grizzlies.
And obviously, you can go back and look at our first pre-playoff NBA pod, and most of these picks are pretty much all these picks are the same. I backed the Suns games up a couple, but everything else, so you can merge us on it based on that if you're really checking us. But we did see game 1 of Warriors Grizz and Bucks Celtics before this. Sorry, go ahead.
The Grizzlies, I don't know. I just anticipate them playing pretty similarly to the Wolves series, maybe a little better. They were definitely a little better tonight, especially Ja. He had his best playoff game of the year so far. So I definitely think the Grizzlies could, sneak in maybe more than 1 game, 2 games, maybe 3, push it to 7. I don't know. I don't see it. Warriors they're not going to lose at home. First off, the Warriors will not lose at home during the playoffs here, and especially to a team like the Grizzlies, and they're just way too playoff experienced. I mean, their core has 3 rings. Like they know how to win. They know what they're doing here, and against a team that obviously the second best record in the NBA, but basically no playoff experience. So I'm expecting similar things from the Grizzlies. that we saw against the Wolves, and I think the Warriors will be able to handle them fairly easily. As I saw today, though, Brandon Clark continues to be a matchup nightmare for anyone. Just absolutely eating this playoffs for the Grizzlies. Like, shout out Brandon Clark, I guess. Just a rebound machine.
Two things I want to say about today's game. The Draymond kick out was BS. The flagrant 2 on that was ridiculous. That obviously changes Brandon Clark's game a bit, but Brandon Clark was still hooping either way, giving him credit on that. Second thing is, holy beep, Jordan Poole. 31, 9 and 8.
9 and 8.
12 for 20 in a playoff. Like, is this guy gonna be is he the next like superstar shooter guy? Like, I know I'm
honestly.
I know I'm going crazy with the one game overreaction. I'm not like predicting that or anything. I'm just
he was balling in my head round 1 though too.
I know, and in my head it's just like, is this gonna happen? I don't know. I'm not saying or it's way too early, but it's occurring in my head with some of the shots he was making.
Yeah, I have the same thoughts. 31, 9 and 8. That's an insane stat line for anyone, let alone Jordan Poole.
Like 60% from the field.
Yeah.
31, 9 and 8. 50% from 3. What are we doing?
In a night where Steph didn't play very well. Draymond got kicked out.
Steph
tons
8
of
for
foul
20,
trouble
Klay
everywhere.
6 for 19. Klay 6 for 19. Wiggins 6 for 14. Curry 8 for 20. Yep.
And Jordan Poole
12
for 20. Yeah. So
crazy.
That just even adds to why I think the Warriors would just be able to easily handle this, and they got all that veteran leadership, and then you got a guy like Jordan Poole who's just apparently actually insane.
And my other thing is, Jaren Jackson is not going to have 33 again. He's going to be in foul trouble at least 2 or 3 games in this series.
Yeah, he's not going to
be able to play this many minutes. This is the game the Grizz needed to win this game. They had leads. They were up. And what? Now Desmond Bane went from Klay Thompson to Josh Okogie or what? What? Even in the first half, Bane was making shots, looking good, coming off the dribble, had a couple catch-and-shoot bangers, but then it was just like, oh, this guy isn't Klay Thompson anymore? Oh,
right.
Probably because of Klay Thompson, I guess. But even Curry was guarding him, and he just wasn't banging shots. So and Melton played really good, 14 and 7 on 5 for 8 shooting, but he didn't even play that much against the Wolves. That's just some cool matchup-based things that happen in playoff basketball that I always enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. And this series will ultimately come down to who will make more jump shots. I mean, Curry, Poole, Klay, your main scorers, all jump shot shooters for their main way to score, as well as obviously not Ja, he gets to the rim, but your Dillon Brooks, your Desmond Baines, your I'm just drawing a blank on his name. You just said it, D'Anthony Melton. He stepped up. Yeah, he stepped up tonight and knocked down shots. So these guys that get open looks when Ja drives, it's essentially what the series will come down to. Who hits their open jumpers, which obviously given Warriors track record, it'll likely be them. So look forward to these series going forward. Suns Mavs also start tomorrow as well. So
16 offensive rebounds by the Grizzlies.
16 tonight?
16.
Yeah, they just continue to kill it on the old boards, mainly because of Brandon Clark.
Yep.
That's insane numbers for sure. Forgot what I was going to even mention. Oh, yeah. This just time of year is just amazing to me. I love once we get to like the conference semis and stuff, just because the intensity and the players that are involved, everything just gets heightened and it's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to these next like 2-3 weeks here as these playoffs continue. These are the best times of the NBA, no doubt about it.
Agree.
Well, that was it for episode 12. We'll wrap it up quickly with Q&A. We actually only have one question again. You guys are slacking. Give us more questions. Someone other than Dan Tim, give us questions. Just kidding, Dan. Keep them coming. It's actually not Dan's question this week even, but I just wanted to shout out Dan because he's obviously the main question guy. We get Brendan Keelan, who will actually be a guest for us next week when we dive into MLB. Oh, yeah. You're MLB fans. You're probably mad that we didn't talk MLB at all today. Don't worry. Next week will be very much MLB based. It'll probably be almost majority MLB. First half for sure will be MLB. We'll give a huge update about the season because next week will mark about a month since the season started. So, but Brendan's question here, Spinny, baseball related at least. Tatis, Soto, or Vlad? Who, if you had a team and you had the number one pick, which one would you build your franchise with out of those three?
Soto. Fielding ability,
Soto.
consistent batting average. I think going to have the longest. He can do what he does the longest, I think. Least likely to be out of shape or injured or those type of things. Vlad, obviously, he's going to have a long career. He'll be a DH, obviously, as his career goes on, mostly. But he'll be one of those guys that can stand and keep dingers. They're all going to be good, obviously.
There's not a lot of wear and tear at first base
yeah.
either, which is where he plays a lot too. So
yeah. But Tatis is the one I think has the biggest injury risk and that type of shorter career stuff, plus shortstops. Obviously, a main defensive position. So I would go Soto, Vlad, Tatis, I think.
Wow, I'm in complete agreement with you, Spinny, for actually everything you said. So Soto, just on base god, just he can get it done in any single way. So I love Soto at the plate, and he's got the fielding, like you said. So I'm giving him the slight edge there. And Tatis, yeah, I agree. He's probably going to be, I hope not, obviously, but he's probably going to be the more injury-ridden player out of these three throughout his career. And so that plays into it. And he's also not good at defense. He's terrible at shortstop, which you need a good defensive shortstop. I think maybe if
he's not terrible. Come on, he's not terrible.
I mean, he led the NL in errors. So
true, but he's mid because he does make a lot of errors, but he makes a lot of good plays.
But he makes amazing plays. Yeah,
he's just high risk. He's risky. Yeah,
yeah. But obviously, as you said, Spinny, all these guys, amazing. I would kill to have any of them on my team. So I'll take any of them. I'm gonna pick. If I was on the clock, I'd pick Soto, then Vlad, then Tatis for sure. All right. Wow. Episode 12. That was it, Spinny.
All right, y'all. So this will be released Monday morning for y'all. So 2 days from now, when you're listening to this, check us out. 5 to 5:30. Your drive home. Out in the afternoon, KTOE. Check us out. The more viewers we get,
so excited.
The more viewership everybody gets, the more time we get. So just go check it out for us. Let us know what you think too. We'll be talking mostly NBA. And as we go in the future, it'll just be the most current sports, a little 20-minute. So, just let us know what you think of that, think of this, everything. We will do a better job commenting back on all of you and trying to get some comment strings going so you can let us know. But, keep us up with your feedback. We love you all, and have a wonderful night.
Absolutely. See y'all next week.